All right, Cincinnati fans, welcome to the Anchor Down Cincinnati podcast. I'm your host, Tony Beeler, and it's been a long time coming, folks. This has been in the works for quite some time, and since my daytime job allows me to work from home, I just decided to say screw it. Let's get the ball rolling. Can't think of a better time to start talking about Cincinnati sports with our local teams here, especially with 2020 starting off absolutely ripping. Before I dive into everything, I want to thank everybody that's helped me out getting this podcast started. I'm just having an absolute blast with it. Huge shout out and thank you to the designer of my logo that looks absolutely badass, Matt Hausler with Matthews Mazes. Thank you so much for helping me make that. Can't wait to be working with you in the future as well. Anyway, this podcast is going to be every Tuesday at 8 a.m., and I'm going to be having some special guests on. Every week I'm going to have a special guest. I have one today. I'll introduce her in just a minute here, but we got some Bengals lined up, some former Bengals. We're going to get some Steelers fans on here. Any rivalry that we have in Cincinnati sports, we're going to have them on here, and we're going to be able to dish it out over this podcast. For me, I've been a Cincinnati fan my whole entire life, born and raised. But the love that I've had for controversy and sports talk has, generated probably back in 2015, where I was on my way home from class. I was in college at the time. I was listening to XM radio, and Stephen A. Smith was on there, and he as a guest as well, and he was going off. This was right after the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Steelers playoff game, where Jeremy Hill fumbled the damn football. But he was on there. I decided to call in just because he was just throwing so much shade at Vontaze Burfict like he always does. And he was saying that he was something along the lines of how he was intentionally going to hurt Antonio Brown. I totally disagree with that. Antonio Brown is an absolute probably nut job because of this event that happened, but I mean, he didn't do it intentionally. If it was intentional, Vontaze Burfict could have taken Antonio Brown's career from him. Like he wouldn't have a career after that whole entire hit. But needless to say, I was on the phone with Stephen A. And next thing I know, I'm 5 minutes deep in the conversation, and we're screaming at each other. Next thing I know, I'm in my driveway. And I get off the phone, and I'm come inside, and I'm talking about how much fun I had dishing it out with Stephen A. on the radio. But it was a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to doing it here as well. But what I really am looking forward to is getting back into sports. We need Cincinnati sports back. We need our sports back, just in general. I mean, I'm sitting here, watching Golden Tee on ESPN. I mean, I got to have a sport to watch. Sooner or later, we're going to be hopefully tailgating again. I mean, there ain't nothing like going down to the banks at 6 o'clock on a Friday for Firework Friday, or waking up at 8 a.m. and going to one of your favorite tailgate down at the Bengals game. I actually have a friend of mine down there. He's at every single game. His name is Phil Amrine. Absolutely fantastic time down there at his tailgate. He's always in Lot A, and I mean he's got the drinks, he's got the breakfast grill, he's got everything. You name it, the guy's got it. Phil Amrine also he is a jeweler, and he owns a jewelry store off of Coleraine Avenue. So I actually used him when I bought my ring for my fiance, and he sells the best stuff in the business. If you ever find yourself in need of any jewelry or have any advice on what jewelry to get, please visit Phil Amrine at Amrine Diamonds off of Coleraine Avenue. Another guy I know, he's always down there as well. Matt Ernst, a friend of mine, he's at every single game, and he actually goes by DUI Matt. He's an attorney at law. And he's down there, and he always wears this Bengals jersey. And since he's a DUI attorney, he wears his .08 jersey, and it says DUI on the back of it. But if you have ever been charged with a DUI, please, attorney Matt Ernst with www.igotadui.com is the lawyer you need in your corner. DUI Matt's 25 years of experience in the Cincinnati area can help you keep points off your driving record, prevent insurance rates from going up, and avoid loss of your license. I'm sure you've seen that .08 jersey just since he's at every single game. I'm sure you've seen him down there. But please, folks, do not drink and drive. DUI charges require immediate action and attention. Let DUI Matt show you what to expect. Save his 24-hour emergency number in your phone, and you can call him immediately before doing any tests at 513-615-2460. And for a free consultation, visit www.igotadui.com. Well, folks, I think we should just dive into it. We got a very special guest on today. I got a local radio host, Tiffany Patterson, on the line with me today. And we're looking forward to having conversations about the Reds lineup, the NFL draft that we just had, and the offseason moves that we've made. But I got Tiffany here. Tiffany, would you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Tony. I've been on B105 for 5 years. I love country music, but my passion is really in sports. My dad, he worked for CBS Sports, so I've been lucky enough to do a few golf tournaments, football games down at the Bengals Stadium, see the behind the scenes of a big live TV broadcast, which is pretty neat. Also done some things locally. Lindsay Patterson actually works with me, so talked with her, done a few things with her, and just, my thing is I love talk sports, so what better way than to do it on your first podcast, huh?
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I guess with background, you got a pretty strong sports background. You talk sports on the radio, 24/7. What is your, with your passion for sports, what do you see in 2020 for the Cincinnati Bengals, Reds, any Cincinnati team?
Wow. I think that it's going to be a good year for both teams. Coincidentally, this might be a year that it's definitely going to be a year that sports are different. They've talked about different ways of getting that done. The NFL keeps saying they're going to start their season on time, but I've seen things where they've had contingency plans and all that. So hopefully by August they can get everything, up and going and can have a preseason and training camps and then get the season started. But the Major League Baseball season is going to be a little bit different this year. Obviously, we haven't started it on time. It starts usually last week of March, and
God,
they've talked about that.
It sucks.
It's definitely going to be a different feel. We might not even see any fans in the ballpark. They might play at Great American, but no fans. So how do you kind of root on a team with no fans, and how does the team respond to that is definitely going to be key for at least Major League Baseball in whole.
That's what I'm saying. And it's like, this town is like a lot of fun. When we get a sports team, once we can put some, when we can put some wins together, or if we're sweeping people, or we got any team that's going off, this town is fun. And I think that's what I'm kind of missing the most about life without sports, but I'm sure we'll get right back to it.
It's different. I work at a sports bar too as my side job, and I miss having a full bar with a bunch of Cincinnati fans and seeing them cheer on the Reds or the Bengals. Or I know people are just excited to get sports on TV in general. I'm sure that the NFL draft had more viewers probably than it ever has before, just because it was something with a sporting event. So, yeah, it's different time for sports right now.
It's like we look forward to what I've been doing and what the family's been doing around the house is they've been just putting on like a PlayStation game and then putting it a simulation of like the Bengals versus like the Patriots or something, and then we're watching it and actually just making bets.
That's kind of how it has to be right now. They've even talked about, I know in Kentucky, they talked about horse racing coming back, but with no fans. And I'm like, well, how does that even work? How do you get your bets? I guess you do it online, but it's just sports in general is just it's crazy right now.
Yeah. Hopefully, I think we're going back. I think baseball's back in May, so, well, that's what they say. So, hopefully we can get fired up with that. But lately, I mean, the city of Cincinnati has been absolutely electric because of our draft. I mean, if you were to grade the draft just as a whole, I mean, what do you got for me?
So, the expert's going to say it's a B plus. I would say it's a step up from that. I would say it's an A. I mean, they really filled what they needed to fill. Obviously, you knew even before the draft they were going to draft Joe Burrow. Some people thought that Cincinnati was still going to mess it up, but they didn't. They drafted Joe Burrow. They need a quarterback. Andy Dalton's been great. I hope kind of he sticks with the team and finds another team, hopefully to go with. He's a great guy. He's done a lot for Cincinnati. He donated like $150,000 to UC Health. Great guy. So I wish nothing but the best for him. But definitely think Joe Burrow is going to start week one. And
yeah, he's had the playbook for quite I think a couple weeks now. And what's so unique about it is I'm pretty sure they're talking about him starting week one, which would be great.
Yeah.
And I hear what you're saying. People shit on Andy all day. And I
really do. It's kind of sad.
I think Andy's an okay quarterback. He's got average drop back, average arm, can't run. Pocket presence isn't very strong, but I mean, with the guy with a decent O-line and the weapons that we have, he's not a bad quarterback. What I can see him doing is actually going to a Patriots or a more system team. He honestly like the Tennessee Titans this past year. Like he is right in line with that Ryan and Tannehill category in my opinion.
Yeah.
Where if he was to be able to get on a team like that, I feel like he could absolutely thrive. Do some dump-off passes. But with the team that we got now, especially with T. Higgins, John Ross is one of the fastest people in the league. And we've had a quarterback that can't throw him deep. So now we got a guy with a cannon with pocket presence and can scramble. I mean, you can go on and on about Joe Burrow.
Yeah, he's definitely a different quarterback. Like you said, Andy really struggled getting out of the pocket. He struggled kind of finding the right wide receiver or tight end. He did okay with running plays because we have good running backs. But I mean, when you don't have necessarily the strongest O-line and they can't necessarily protect the quarterback to give him that amount of time that Andy needs, then it's kind of hard. But yeah, I mean, he's a mediocre quarterback. I've always said that. I've always said he's not the best, but he's not the worst. So you can only go up really from there. And with Joe Burrow, you can tell, anybody that watched him at LSU, he definitely can get out of the pocket. He can run. He knows how to throw. And so he's obviously came off a successful season at LSU. So also high character leader that Andy Dalton definitely is in the locker room. So they needed somebody that, if they were going to bring in a quarterback that has that character and that presence about them that can really help, they kind of build a franchise off of. So they can definitely do that off Burrow. And I'm excited to see, hopefully he's not a Tim Tebow or something like that, but I don't really see him being that way. I think I think he's going to be great.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, obviously you can't go wrong with giving him an A plus on that draft. I mean, everybody saw it coming. There's some people who are all bent out of shape about it. And my big thing about it is, when you look at the NFL power rankings, people are giving the Bengals like a 27 seed. I mean, we got to expect that because they cannot rate a quarterback who has not played in the NFL yet and automatically put the Bengals at like a number, we'll say top 15 team. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, you can't do that. I mean, you don't know. College and the NFL are two different, somewhat fields. In college, like I said, you have a Tim Tebow. He didn't do necessarily bad in the NFL, but he was definitely way better in college. So, but I don't see that kind of potential, flop, I guess you could say, coming out of Joe Burrow. I think that, like you said, he's been studying the playbook. He's already, been working really hard. He seems like he's against other people. Your favorite person, Stephen A. Smith, saying that Joe Burrow shouldn't even come to the Bengals. That shouldn't even be a thing. I'm like, well, if he gets drafted, he's going to come. But I think, he has the right attitude. And he's an Ohio boy. He said himself he's excited to play in Cincinnati because he can go home and have a meal, or and
it just goes to show you
that he grew up in. So
it just goes to show you that all that media, because people are like, he doesn't want to go to Cincinnati. He just wants to be the first round draft pick, and he wants to get it. He's going to get his money. He's got his receivers. And he's got weapons now. And what's crazy is I think with the number 2 pick with T. Higgins to me, it was a surprise because I saw linebacker or O-lineman. But I think it was, you can't pass up T. Higgins. I mean, he just passed, was it Hopkins? I think DeAndre Hopkins' record at Clemson? Yeah.
You can't beat that. I mean, when I was watching the second round, I was like, please pick T. Higgins. And I didn't think they were going to do it either, but it's definitely like, again, like an Andy Dalton and A.J. Green kind of thing. T. Higgins actually models his style of play off of A.J. Green, and he's a big Bengals fan too, which is kind of helpful.
Oh, yeah.
He definitely is going to start week 1. I mean, I would think there's no doubt that he's going to start week 1, and that he can catch the ball very naturally. He has incredible body control, just like A.J. Green. I mean, those passes that you see A.J. Green that he catches, most wide receivers in the NFL can't catch a play like that. So T. Higgins definitely has that kind of style of play. So it'll be interesting to kind of see both of them on the field and see, how they react to Joe Burrow's style of play too. But, yeah, I mean, he dominated the Clemson. Clemson was all-time TD leader with 27 TDs, so he definitely is going to score some points.
And what's absolutely crazy, and I think we were talking about this the other day, but imagine going out there, going 4 wide, and you got A.J. Green, 6'4", 6'5". You got T. Higgins, 6'4". You got Boyd, 6'3", 6'4". And then you put I think he's 6'3". And then you put Auden Tate or Uzama out there. You just got to.
Yeah.
I mean, one of those people are going to have to go against a 5'10" corner.
Right. They have ESPN right now. I looked at the depth chart, and they have starting as of now. I mean, obviously that can all change, and we don't know what's going to happen. But they have Burrow, Nixon, Green, Boyd, Higgins, and Uzama. So that's going to be an unreal lineup. And then you have if they don't put John Moss in, then you have him and Tate and Erickson as backup. So we really have some strong wide receivers now, and with the type of quarterback that we have now, it's going to be a whole different ball game. Will it be a winning season? I don't know. I still think they might go. I think it still might be like an average season, like an 8-8, just because it's going to take a little bit for Joe Burrow to get adapted to the NFL, style of play, and get adapted to being in the NFL. But we're going to do better in 2-14.
Exactly, and that's the message. That is the message. It needs to be a message to Cincinnati fans, because we lose. We'll say we go 8-8 this season. People call this draft a wash, but because they did that with Zach Taylor, and I think that's the one problem with that with some fans is that Zach Taylor came in for one season. He came in with a C plus, let's say C plus team.
Yeah, I would say C. C plus is generous.
Yeah, and I mean it was a rebuilding season. So this season will be a good test for him. I think he started figuring it out towards the end of the season on how to coach, because he did get outcoached a few times. Yeah. I think it's going to be interesting, and I mean the amount of weapons that we have is just crazy. I mean, you got Joe. You got Burrow, handing off to Burrow. I went through the wide receiver core. Tight end core is deeper than you think. I mean, you got Drew Sample. You got, who's a blocking tight end. You got Uzama, who's just an absolute mass. People forget about Mason Schreck. Mason Schreck's an animal out there. I think there's a lot of weapons out there, but and then I gave, like I said, T. Higgins an A. Back to the drafts. For Logan Wilson. I actually gave him a B, just because you just got to see more from the guy. He's coming from Wyoming. He's I think he's pretty quick. He ran a 4.62 40. And as a linebacker, as a big boy, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, he is a good size. He's 6'2", 240 pounds. He was a 3-time captain at Wyoming. Um, so the Bengals need a linebacker. They addressed that, and they addressed their top 3 needs and the top 3 picks. So, I mean, that's always a good sign. Actually, out of all the picks, Wilson apparently was somebody that the Bengals didn't even think they were going to get, but they wanted to begin with. So it's a good thing that they ended up getting him, and it's probably because that he does come from a smaller school, Wyoming, and but he had an outstanding season, and he was a team captain at Wyoming, so he could also bring some leadership in the locker room, and he picked Vontez Burfict's number, so maybe that could be an omen. Maybe.
Hey, you got to know. When you put that 55 jersey on, you got to expect a target on your back.
Exactly. The NFL is going to be like, all right, what are we doing here? But no, I think he's definitely a good pick, and like I said, the Bengals were always scouting him, so they wanted him, so they must think that he's going to fit in pretty well, and we'll see what he does out on the field this year.
Yeah, absolutely, and I bet you. I mean, with the people that we brought in from the offseason and the trades that we made, I mean, he very well could, be second string. But I think our front 7 is, I mean, it's going to be lethal. I mean, you look at let's go D-line. Let's go D-line. You start on left side. You go Dunlap.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You go Geno. We'll go Reeder, and then Hubbard. From there.
Yeah, that's what they predict. So.
Yeah, and then from there, let's say you bring in, and honestly, and I could be totally wrong, but my opinion is Carl Lawson is one of our greatest pass rushers, and I don't think we utilize him as much as we should.
Yeah, right now he's a second string, and they actually said that actually the 5th draft pick that we did at Khalid Kareem, which he's from Notre Dame, so I'm a big fan. But he could be the next Carl Lawson. So I mean, we definitely could utilize him more. And actually, they have Logan Wilson starting, but we'll see. I don't know.
Where are they? Logan Wilson. If they got him starting, I mean, with everybody that we draft, with everybody that we have, and who we got in the offseason, he's just going to jump him? You think?
I mean, he very well could. Like I said, they were really adamant about that's who they had him already. They wanted to pick him.
Yeah.
So I guess I have a lot of faith in him. I've watched a little bit of his tape, but there isn't really a lot of stuff on the internet about him yet. So like I said, we'll see. And then the 4th draft pick, Akeem Davis,
big fan.
Gaither. He's behind Logan Wilson, but he's 3rd string. But still, I mean, if he can, the only thing about him is his stress fracture in his foot most of the season, but he played through that. So he's got versatility he can play both safety and linebacker. So, who knows?
Yeah.
Either one of them maybe could
I
start.
think, and you want to talk about, I mean, they did the exact opposite of what we had last year. Last year we had people, Vigil, I was on and off with. I think when he got into an open field tackle situation, I think he struggled. And I don't think he was the fastest linebacker that we had. So the fact that we got people that can run, people that in their Akeem Davis Gaither, his highlight reel is absolutely filthy. It's unbelievable. Yeah. So it's definitely exciting, and then it's great to top it all off. I know we got another D end and another OT, and then another linebacker to finish it off. But it's just going to be exciting, especially with those. I think I'm most excited about those top 4. But like you said, I mean, I think you can't give the Bengals less than an A- on draft.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the experts give it a little less, but I really think that they did a good job. I mean, like I said before, they filled what they needed to fill and then some, and they brought some defense in, and I think that it should be a pretty successful year.
Oh man, I mean,
they get to play.
Look at that's the big thing right now, ain't it? That's going to be huge for us, but I mean, even when you look at the DBs, I mean, let's say you're just going off of cornerbacks and safeties. You got, I don't think you can sit William Jackson. You got Von Bell back there,
Yeah.
Jesse Bates, Trey Waynes. It's going to be exciting. The one flaw I have, and just because I am critical as hell on the Bengals, is Bobby Hart. I don't know why the man touches the field.
I agree with you. You know, we'll see. Maybe he'll change it around this year. But
I guess we'll see. I guess. Well, we can transition here. Move to the Reds lineup, just because that's on our agenda here. Just as far as the Reds, I know we. I think we'll go lineup wise from from spot 1 probably to 7. I think pitchers are going to have a problem. I think you start off. You can't. My lineup. I have Akiyama. I got Votto at 2, which is I go back and forth with. But he gets on base. Chances are he'll probably fucking walk. Suarez at 3. You got Moose coming in. It's going to be sweet because you got people like Moose and Castellanos who are coming into a ballpark that has left field and right field between 328 and 340. I mean, it's just going to be home. I think it's going to be home run city. From there, I have Aquino in there. Back and forth on Aquino as well. But I mean,
yeah, I am too. I don't know because it depends on if everybody's healthy this year. I mean, Suarez,
Senzel.
They said that, and Senzel too. I mean, they say that they were getting ready to put Suarez back in on spring training. Obviously, coronavirus prevented that, but and they said that Nick Senzel also he played 4 games as the DH, but he was in the final stages of his rehab. So if we have both those guys healthy, which Suarez should be, and hopefully Senzel will, then I think Senzel will start. But I mean, you can't count out Aquino. So
yeah, I think this lineup, the lineup without Senzel, it definitely messes it up a little bit because I think franchise guy. People are talking trades with him. I'm biased for Senzel just because we followed him all the way since AAA, and I'm a big fan. But I really hope he's not on the trade block. However, playing devil's advocate here, we need a shortstop. I think Freddie Galvis is great, but at the same time, I think we have an opportunity and the money, the cash that the Reds have right now that they're willing to spend. I think we could probably get at least tier 1 or tier 2 shortstop.
Yeah, that's when the Reds were bringing in all those players and making trades. Definitely thought maybe a shortstop would be, somewhere in there, but Galvis also had a somewhat limited spring because he also had a quad strain and a sore. Yep. I can't say it, sore shoulder, but apparently by the time when they were getting ready to wrap things up kind of in Arizona for now, he was throwing balls and running and all that, so hopefully he's good too. But
yep.
It's kind of pretty clear, I think, about who's gonna be on what position. The pitching, the starting pitching, definitely.
Oh my God.
You have the 5.
Yeah.
You have the 5 set up, but the rotation, it could be. I don't know. It's up in the air. So
I mean, I think you start off with Castillo. I think you either go Sonny or you go Bauer, Miley, and then Disco. But I mean, that lineup alone is. I thought our lineup last year was good, and then
it was pretty good. Yeah.
And then this year we made the Miley trade, and I was actually really iffy about Sonny Gray when we traded for him last January. But I mean, I think that was a great move. He's really coming into his own. Trevor Bauer and his swag is, I would think, the funniest thing in the world. Probably one of my top like 3 favorite people in the world.
He is a great he kind of fills Brandon Phillips' void in a
man.
way. He's kind of a fan favorite, or definitely will be a fan favorite. But yeah, I mean, and this is the weird thing. So obviously NFL doesn't start till later, so they might be okay for a regular season. But even just as of yesterday, I read that the Red season might be pushed back to July 4th. Hopefully it's earlier. But I know, right? But what that means is that it might be a 30-man active roster. So you might have one or two more pitchers because, Trevor Bauer likes to go only 4 days, but a regular starting pitcher likes to go 5.
Yep.
So you're going to have to add another starting pitcher in there because if there's double headers, if, however many games, if you have to do like a 10-game stretch or 15-game stretch to make it work, because they still want to have, I think, about 100 games, then, you're going to have to add people. And back in, I think it was 95, season was delayed until April 25th, and the roster was expanded from 25 to 28. So if we're going, and we're not going to start the season until July 4th, I definitely think a 30-man roster is probably where they'll cut it off. It might even be a little bit more than that. But, but yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see when they get started, kind of who's in the lineup, because some people that might have not been in the lineup might end up coming onto the active roster just because of how the season's going to go, or how we don't even know how it's going to go yet.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be, I think, a short season. I think it's going to make there's, again, another side to it, is it's going to make the season, like, so interesting because every game is going to count. So, without throwing a game or two away or throwing a series away, you're like, oh, there's always next series. It's going to be fun because in the MLB because, I mean, every game is going to matter from here on out. Like, I'll never forget, I think I was at Game 3 when we were playing against the Giants, and my heart got ripped out of me again. But, hey, that's the life of Cincinnati fans. I'm going to tell you right when we lost it, too. I don't know if anybody knows. I will never forget the moment. I'm a huge BP fan. But he was on second base. Homer Bailey was up to bat. He decided to steal third. He stole third, got called out. Next pitch, Homer Bailey gets a base hit, and we lost by what was it, 1? And that right there was one. Oh my God, absolutely stole.
You can't be the hero,
Stole my heart.
I love BP. Don't get me wrong, but he was one of those players that kind of tried to always be that. Which he was good, but you can't. In that situation, you kind of got to play it safe. So,
yep.
As
far as I think on the show, I'm gonna give. I'm going to ask questions to every single guest I have on here. But as far as your favorite Reds moment, let's hear it.
Ooh, that's tough.
I'll give you mine.
Yes.
It was Reds versus St. Louis, and actually it was Brandon Phillips who hit the walk-off home run with it was 2 outs. 2 strikes, and it's when he went absolutely crazy going on to first base. Absolutely crazy, electric. Being in the stadium, one of the craziest things I've ever been a part of at GABP. So much fun.
Well, I guess I'd say I wasn't there, but I watch quite a bit of. Baseball's my favorite sport, so I watch quite a bit of baseball if I'm not there on TV. So I would say when Homer Bailey had a no-hitter for the first time, and then he had a second one. Yeah, it's a blast. It's a blast to see your hometown team have something that's kind of rare. So yeah.
Yeah, and that's what makes it fun. And then that makes when you're going to the banks after the games, it just makes it's like the cherry on top. There ain't nothing like it on a firework Friday.
No.
There ain't nothing like it.
Especially with the rooftop bars now, you can see the fireworks.
Yeah, I guess so.
From the rooftops, so it's great.
I guess so. Yeah, I can't wait. It needs to open up sooner rather than later. But but other than that, I got one more question for you. This is gonna be another doozy that I ask every guest on here. Where were you when Jeremy Hill fumbled the football?
So I think I worked at the bar that day, Gina, she works at the bar as well, decided last night, we're like, we're going to get tickets. Screw it. So we got tickets. And we sat up. I don't remember what section it was, but it was in the middle. It wasn't at the top, but it was somewhat in the middle of the stadium. And man, we left, I think, at third.
No.
Yeah,
no.
we left before the game, and we went back to Bucketheads, and we saw that at Bucketheads, and I can't even tell you the kind of energy. I mean, everybody just was like, what the hell? Like, come on, that's so Cincinnati. So,
I mean, right when it was Vontaze, he got the entire, I mean, he got the interception and ran into the locker room. I'm at a Clifton party, and I mean, you know, we were in sophomores in college. We were, I mean, you know, drinking, jumping on each other, going absolutely crazy. People were throwing like stuff off the deck. Why do people throw stuff off the deck? Like furniture.
I don't know. Why do people burn things? Why do they? I don't know. It's just like a tradition, I guess.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was extremely entertaining. I mean, I was watching, but there's something about it. But then the next thing you know, I'm not going to call him a Super Bowl winner ever, but then he fumbles the ball. Honest to God, I hope he fumbles the damn ring into the toilet one day because he didn't play one down. Jeremy, oh my God, poor guy gets so much hate.
Yes,
but
it was definitely one, if not the most that's so Cincinnati moment in my life. So far, we'll see. I mean, they could still have a lot.
Hey,
so.
that's why we're starting this. 2020 is going to be a good year. It's going to be good.
Yeah,
I'm feeling it.
I hope so. Yes.
Things are turning around. But anyway, Tiffany, thank you so much for coming on. Obviously, you'll be probably a frequent guest here on the pod, and I'm sure we'll be we'll schedule that next time coming up here. But thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me, Tony.
Thanks, Tiff. And there we have it, folks. Episode 1 of the Anchor Down Cincinnati podcast. If you have any other questions or comments, or hell, you just want to be on the show coming up here and want to schedule a time to talk, feel free to reach out to me at anchordowncincy@gmail.com. I also have a website. It's www.anchordowncincinnati.com. We're going to be on every Tuesday. I'll post what time I'm going to be posting every week. On Facebook or any social media. But another thing I'm going to do is actually give a shout out to a local business every week. So if you're a local business and you want me to give you guys a shout out or a sponsorship, feel free again to reach me at any of those contacts. This week we have Clint Kirsting. And if you're looking for any retirement guidance through this volatile market, reach out to Clint Kirsting at Triple Crown Wealth Management at CKERSTING@tc-wealth.com. You'll talk to him. You'll probably learn way more about finances than you ever thought you could. But that wraps us up here for this first week. We're just going to keep the ball rolling with week 2. We got another special guest. We got John Phipps coming in. Phipps is a huge Cincinnati Bengals fan. He's got some stuff to say about our Bengals. We're going to be talking about some rivalries, and he's going to be sharing some stories about some nights he's had with some Bengals, some players. So we're looking forward to that. But if you have any other questions or comments, like I said before, let's reach out to me at my email or my website or any social media. But until then, looking forward to next week, and we'll see you.